Welcome everybody to the Chess Lab, and as usual, Wesley So is on fire. We are in the Meltwater Championship Tour 2022 finals. This is day 6 and the player plays against each other 4 games each day. This is game 2. Game 1, Wesley So was able to win, so in this game 2, Duda, you know it's better that he wins. So okay, d4 by Wesley, who is playing with the white pieces, knight to f6 by Duda, c4 and g6. By the way guys, as you know, this game is very nice. Knight to c3, d5, the Grunfeld, and here the main move is c takes d5, knight takes d5, white obtains the very good center with the pawn duo, but Wesley So is not interested in that. He is like, bro, today we chill. Knight f3 and bishop g7, and here comes bishop g5. And here Duda says, bro, today we don't chill, and he plays knight to e4, attacking immediately the bishop. It's not that he is threatening to win the bishop because the bishop is defended, but you know, the bishop pair is the bishop pair. These are super strong grandmasters, they are very boring, they play beautiful chess, so bishop f4. Knight takes c3, b takes c3, and here d takes c4. So okay, Duda wins a pawn, but the point is that after e3, this pawn is just a double pawn. And so the question is, do you want to fight for your life and defend the pawn, or do you just allow white to take it and move on? Well, Duda decided that he wanted to fight for his life, so he decided to play bishop e6 to hang on to this pawn. Queen to b1, beautiful move, attacking b7 but also controlling e4, so in the case of e4, you know, this is a supported move. b6 defending the pawn by Duda, and now knight to g5 by Wesley, attacking the bishop to e6, threatening to take it, and after Duda destroys his pawn structure, bishop takes c4, and white will be strategically winning, but almost always also tactically. Anyways, bishop d5 is played, this is all theoretical by the way, e4, and here the whole point of queen b1 is shown, not only because the queen is supported e4, because also the knight is supporting e4. The point is, if you simply move back with the bishop, white just obtains a strong center, and there's nothing much you can do. Bishop takes c4 is following with an attack on f7, so black here plays h6. And the whole point is that you don't want to take here, because if you take here, h takes g5 attacks the bishop, and after, for example, bishop takes g5, which is not even the best move, but it's just to show you, queen takes d5 attacks the bishop, the queen is very active. This is not an easy position to play. So here you want to play knight to f3, but now, again, we understand why queen b1 was played, because now the knight wouldn't be defending e4 anymore, and here black would just take. But thanks to the queen on b1, the pawn is defended, and so bishop back to e6. Okay, a lot of words, but it's just to say that queen b1 is not a silly move, you know. It's not that Wesley was drunk, he was very sober when he played it. Okay, bishop e5 now, attacking this bishop, and now comes f6. And okay, we will talk about this move a little bit later. Bishop g3 for the moment, and now comes c6. a4, trying to maybe, you know, push a5 or something, but here simply a6. And okay, let's talk about it now. As you can see, there are 3 pawns here and 3 pawns here, and okay, this may look very nice, but the problem is once you move pawns, you can't move it backwards, and you may say, duh, what's the point of it? Well, the point of it is that once you move this pawn and also this pawn here, but most importantly, this square over here is weak, because this square cannot be defended by other pawns, because again, the pawn just moved. And the same goes for these 3 pawns, and this square over here to g6 here is weak. And so you have moves like e5 that attacks this square immediately, knight h4 that attacks this square immediately, so black needs to be careful. Okay, bishop e2 was played by Wesley because, you know, player's idea is to first castle and then eventually go crazy. So short castle by Duda, short castle by Wesley, and now knight to d7. The computer doesn't like knight to d7, but again, these are human playing and they want to finish their development, which is understandable. So okay, knight h4 goes after the g6 pawn, and here again, it's very hard to defend it. In the game, bishop f7 to defend the pawn was played, but if you play, for example, g5, well, knight g6. And even if you if you are not able to, you know, calculate all the specificities of this position, I mean, look at it, right? The knight on g6. Are you kidding me? You cannot really play chess like that. The rook is under attack. Rook e8, for example, but now comes even f4, threatening f5 to consolidate the knight forever and attacking the bishop. Like, this is just terrible, you know, black is collapsing very quickly. So bishop f7 was played instead, but here e5. So, you know, again, the idea is that now two pieces are attacking g6, and this is a problem. F takes e5 was played, and now knight takes g6, attacking the rook. And here Duda played a very interesting move, which is e takes d4. And here, guys, believe me or not, Wesley played knight takes f8, but he blundered. This is a blunder, guys. Like Wesley saw, just blundered. And the reason is, here you have to play c takes d4. This is, of course, an engine line, very, very hard. And after bishop takes d4 and rook to a3, you know, you're ready to bring the rook in. If they ever take, they just lose immediately, okay? So they cannot do that. And what's the difference? The difference is that after knight takes f8 and knight takes f8, c takes d4 was played by Wesley, and probably he thought that it was the same. But after queen takes d4, you understand that black's position starts to become very, very active. First of all, there is the threat queen takes a1, bishop takes a1, rook takes a1, which will win back the exchange. And so after queen to c2 and bishop to d5, the position stabilizes a little bit, and you understand the problem. The problem is that black has these 4 pawns against 1. And you can easily see b5, pawn takes, 3 pawns protected past pawns. This is very dangerous. The computer says that black is only slightly better, but white, if it is not super extra careful, can lose immediately, okay? So rook a to e1, and okay, this is also a mistake because, you know, evaluation drops and this rook is very passive. Better was rook f to d1, for example, but okay, rook a to e1 is not over yet, but here Duda finds the best move, b5. And here Wesley is really, really in trouble. Bishop f3 was tried, bishop takes f3, g takes f3. This was done because this bishop was really too active, and so Wesley couldn't allow it. But the problem is that now he also has a bad pawn structure over to the king side. But there's something positive about the position. B takes a4 cannot be played because otherwise these pawns are really, really bad. And here, for example, rook takes e7 comes, and suddenly white is better, actually winning according to the engine. So we trust the engine. The engine is quite strong. Queen d3 was played by Duda because of these reasons, and here queen c1 was played. If you trade the queens, then c5, c4 is an idea, and once again 3 connected passed pawn if white takes here is just too much. White cannot go into this, so queen c1 was played, but now knight to g6. And okay, here Duda allowed rook to e6, attacking this knight, which is defended but still under pressure, but also attacking this pawn. And the idea was king to f7, allowing rook takes c6. And Duda's idea was to attack this rook by playing queen takes f3. But as you can see from the evaluation bar, this is now equal. The reason is very subtle. You had to play queen to d5, attacking the rook this way. And after a takes b5, a takes b5, for example, rook to b6, this pawn is under attack, but is defended by the queen, so it's not a big deal. You have knight e5 and life goes on. But after queen takes f3, a takes b5, defending the rook, a takes b5, now comes rook c5, like in the variation that I just showed you. The difference is that now this pawn is just under attack from there. If the queen was here, you should have played rook to b6 and the pawn was defended. But here the pawn is not defended, and so white is threatening to win it immediately. And because of this reason, rook a1 was tried, you know, skewering a little bit everything. Queen to c2 was played, threatening rook to f5 check. So rook takes f1 check, king takes f1, and now you have to defend this threat. For example, if you deliver check, simply king to e2, and once again, you have to defend this, you have to defend this, so bishop f6, rook takes b5, and we basically transpose into the game. In the game, check wasn't delivered, but bishop f6 immediately was played, but this of course allows rook takes b5. So Wesley, thanks to all these finesses, was able to actually bring the position back to equality. So okay, queen h1 check, king to e2, and now comes c3. So Duda still has this very strong pawn. We have to remember that Wesley is up the exchange, but still, it's very complicated. So okay, queen d3 was tried by Wesley, threatening some checks that are very, very nasty, and so king to g7 was played, but now comes queen to d5. And queen to d5 threatens the trade of the queens, and if black obliges, you know, take, then the fact that white is up the rook is gonna be felt. So you cannot do that. So queen to c1, and if the queen moves away from d2, there's gonna be queen d2 check, which is extremely annoying. But rook b8 here by Wesley, and this threatens queen g8 checkmate. This is no joke. So Duda here played the knight to f8, very simple to defend the position, but suddenly you see that the engine evaluation bar says that white is completely winning. And you may be wondering why. Well, I ask you, why? Feel free guys to stop the video and find the next move, the best move for white. Hopefully you stop the video and try to find it, and the move that Wesley played is the amazing move queen to d8. And the problem is, you are attacking the knight, but you are not threatening anymore queen to g8. So probably Duda thought to himself, I'm just gonna move the knight away. The problem is, you can't. Anywhere you move the knight, for example to e6, you get mated anyways. And because of this reason, Duda cannot save his knight. So he tried king to g6. At this point comes queen takes f8, but Duda was chilling. And you may say, how is he chilling? He's down a piece. What, is he crazy? No. He played queen d2 check, king to f1, and now c2. And you are like, now I see, c1 queen is threatened, and apparently you cannot stop it, right? Unfortunately, white has a lot of checks. And sometimes this doesn't change the things, but in this case it changes. Because of queen e8 check, and now there are many variations, many moves. I'm just gonna show you the game. I just wanna let you know that every move brings to the same result. Anyways, king g5 is played, but now h4 check, king to f5, queen h5 check, bishop to g5, and you're like, wait, what? Bishop to g5? Because of course here you just lose the bishop. Yes, bishop g5. The reason is here Duda realizes that he's actually completely lost. That's the evaluation, guys. There is no better way to sugarcoat it or anything. He's just completely lost. If you play king to e4, try to adventure yourself in the center, comes queen g4 check. You cannot interpose the queen, of course, you know, so king to d5 may be considered, but if you go out in the open, like, this is not gonna last long. Rook b5 check, king to c6 attacking the rook, but queen c4 check, the king must go away, king to d7, rook to b7 check, king to e8, and doesn't matter if you go here or there, queen to g8 is gonna be checkmate on the board. So you know, if the black king moves, he's gonna get mated somehow, so bishop g5 is played. And here you don't take the bishop actually. Wesley surprises everybody by playing queen f7 check. And the point is, after king to g4, well, actually after king to g4 apparently is not that easy, because rook to b4 is not possible, and if you check with the queen, well, the king just goes back to where it comes from and white repeats. So what are you gonna do? Well guys, feel free to stop the video and find the best move for white in this position. Okay guys, hopefully you stop it, and believe me or not, the best move that Wesley played, after which Duda on move 46 resigned the game, unbelievable stuff, is king to g2. A move with the king that is in a forcing mating sequence. And here is like mate in 3 moves. The reason is you are threatening queen f3 checkmate, and also if c1 queen, this doesn't come with check. So king to g1 to g2 is truly a beautiful move. You are threatening queen f3 checkmate, and also if the queen, for example, defends, going on e2, there is rook b4 check. That's the other threat. And here the only move is bishop f4, but this is of course ridiculous because of rook takes f4, this is checkmate. And if you are wondering what about, for example, queen c3, because queen c3 stops queen f3 and stops also queen b4, plus it still threatens queen, c1 queen, well, here unfortunately comes one of the most brutal moves you will ever see, which is f3 check. So brutal. There is no way other than taking here with check, and after queen takes f3, this is checkmate. And by the way, guys, I want you to notice this. Check against black, check against white, and then checkmate. This is crazy. Anyway, guys, I want to leave you with that. Hopefully you enjoyed this video. Subscribe if you did. Thank you so much for watching once again, and enjoy your chess.